Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome back to another one. With waterfowl season right around the corner, I figured I would bring you all a video on how to call wood ducks. In today's video, I'm going to demonstrate the various calls that wood ducks make, and I'm going to show you all how to simulate those sounds. So calling wood ducks is very simple, but at the same time, kind of complex. There's a lot of misconceptions out there on YouTube, basically because most people show videos of them chaining all their calls together, which is not how wood ducks call. Wood ducks are very tamed callers. They don't call as frequently as you would think. When you're hunting wood ducks, you don't want to be calling them frequently like a mallard, which is the misconception that a lot of people get. There's a lot of videos out there where people are blowing their calls and doing stuff like this. Wood ducks don't do that. Wood ducks are very tamed callers. They're only going to call every so often, every minute, 30 seconds. They're not going to call all the time. So you basically want to make sure you're simulating the sitting sounds of wood ducks and not chaining your calls together too frequently, because that is unrealistic. And when I say sitting sounds, you want to make sure you're not doing the alarm sound, which is the call that wood ducks make when they're taking off, when they're scared, when they're flying. It's not going to be a sitting sound, a feeding sound that they're going to make. So you want to make sure when you're out wood duck hunting, you're not going to do this call. That is a big no-no when you're hunting wood ducks. That is going to make the ducks look around in the sky. Where's the duck that's flying away? Let's go fly with him. Or, okay, there's something wrong here. We got to leave. You want to make sure you avoid that call as much as possible. So now I'm going to demonstrate the basic wood duck whistle, which is one of the sitting sounds that you're going to want to make sure you know when you're hunting wood ducks. And the basic wood duck whistle is just going to be this. Plain and simple. You just want to do that. Just one. Don't go out and do that call 10 times in a row like you would with a mallard, a high ball call or something like that. You want to keep it plain and simple. I've been hunting wood ducks all my life. I've killed hundreds of them. I sit down at the swamps and I listen to how they call. And I've basically mastered, in my opinion, how to call wood ducks, because most people I know who call wood ducks can't actually get them to come in. They just happen to land with their decoy spread or something like that, or they're using mallard calls. But for some reason, when I use these wood duck calls, I'm able to call hundreds in all the time, every single year. So that's why in this video, I'm trying to help as many people as I can learn how to call wood ducks properly, because like I said, there's a lot of misconceptions out there on YouTube and people might get the wrong idea when they're calling wood ducks. So to do the basic wood duck whistle, you want to basically start it off with a high pitch blow, pushing out a lot of air, dropping it down a level, and then kind of accelerating it back up. So like I said, you can hear where it starts off really high pitch, kind of drops down, and then high pitch again. So basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to go toot, toot. So into the back of the call. So again into the front. And sometimes I like to give a little flick of my tongue in there, like I just did at the start. Because sometimes you'll hear wood ducks do a little drop in their tone at the start and then accelerate it back up. So like I said, don't do this call too frequently. Take the time, practice learning it. It's going to be very easy to learn. I wouldn't say it's a very hard call. Go onto some websites, some Ducks Unlimited websites and whatnot that have audio calls of the ducks on there, and try and match up the calls that you can hear. That's the best way to learn. Make sure you're not doing like a mating call, because obviously they're not mating in the fall, but that is the very simple wood duck whistle that you need to learn. Second sitting call that wood ducks do is a basic kind of feeder chuckle, similar to a mallard where you'd go like into the call. You want to do something a little similar for wood ducks. So a lot of people like to do the little tongue roll, but I noticed that when I'm sitting around wood ducks that are feeding and stuff, they're not doing that whole tongue roll type sound like a. I can't do it perfectly because it's not something I've ever tried to actually do, because in my opinion, wood ducks don't make that sound. What you got to do is very tight, low peeps that the wood ducks do when they're feeding. They're going to go down, squeak, squeak, pick up some duckweed or something, eat it, squeak, squeak, keep doing that. That's how they do it. So when you're sitting down, you also don't want to do this call too loud, because I've been sitting beside these wood ducks, from me to 20 feet away, and you can barely hear their chuckle. So you don't want to be out there going like really loud. You want to keep it low, and that's basically what's going to be, you're basically be using that call when they're really circling in, just kind of like a finisher. So basically what you want to just do is a little tiny peeps. Little peeps like that. That'll just get those ducks to come in and finish. It shows that they're feeding there. And I've had like tons of ducks come in, especially like out of season ducks. Like when I'm goose hunting, because goose opens up a little bit earlier here, I'll have wood ducks dumping into my decoys, and they're sitting like 10 feet away from me, and I can hear them making the tiniest little peeps when they're feeding in all that weed. So I definitely recommend keeping that peep in mind. I wouldn't say it's the most important one to use. Basically for wood ducks, you're just trying to get them to come into your zone. And just get them to finish onto your decoys. It's kind of hard to call wood ducks. They don't always respond well to calling. So I definitely recommend trying out that feeder call once in a while. If the ducks are circling around you but they're not finishing, try it out. And basically how to blow that call, it's pretty simple. You just give little peeps into it, little spurts of air. So into the back, then into the front. Little peeps like that. Like I said, don't do it as loud as I'm doing it loud for a demonstration. You want to keep it as low as possible. And lastly, the third call is just like a little chain call that wood ducks like to make. They don't do chain calls like I said at the start, by combining all these different calls together like people are showing. This chain call is just basically they just like to do it 2 or 3 times in a row. It's a very basic light whistle, and it goes like this. Just like that. Sometimes you'll hear ducks sitting around in the swamps like that, and they're just going to be doing that. And it's just them swimming around, getting friendly with each other, and it's just to get some attention from other ducks. So basically, when you're sitting there doing some wood duck hunting, in my opinion, little chain call to do, but don't do it like I said, like they show you in other YouTube videos. Spread out your calls. You know, start it off with a, when you see one flying, wait 30 seconds. And then when they start coming in a little bit closer, you can finish them with a little feeder chuckle. So how to do this little chain call, it's basically you're just blowing into the call and slowing it down. Unlike the starter call, the big main whistle, you just want to do it nice and slow. You're not breaking the reed as much like you do with the whistle. So you want to just go into the back of the call. And like I said, breaking your tongue over in that middle of that call is actually pretty good. It's a common thing that wood ducks like to do when they're out there feeding with their friends. So I really hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like down below. And if you want to see more duck calling tutorials in the future, hit that subscribe button down below. I'm going to be getting out a lot more duck call videos in the future for teal, for mallards. I'm going to be throwing out some geese calls, some drake calls. So again, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Take care.